Kestrel 9 was a neutral station above a blue planet. The rules were simple: no firing, no targeting, no boarding. Security drones watched every corridor, and every captain knew the station would punish even a small mistake. 5 alien captains arrived early and claimed the balcony lounge with a clear view of the docks. They were famous, the kind of commanders whose names made smaller crews change course. The first captain was tall and pale. "Humans are bold," he said, "but their ships are crude." The second captain, scarred and heavy-built, tapped the rail. "I heard their reactors run hot," she said. "Like pride can replace engineering." The third captain spoke in a dry voice. "They fight hard," he admitted, "but their designs are childish." The fourth captain laughed. "If they want respect," he said, "let them bring something worth respecting." The fifth captain said nothing. He only watched the outer gate. Below them, diplomats and merchants gathered by the windows. Everyone wanted a scene. The station speakers clicked on. Human vessel entering lane 7. A ship drifted in. It was smaller than the crowd expected. Long, boxy, dark, with plain lights and simple plating. It looked like a work craft, not a warship. For a heartbeat, the lounge went quiet, and then the laughter spilled out. "That is it," the pale captain said, smiling. "A flying crate," the scarred captain mocked. The third captain shook his head. "Worse than rumor." The fourth captain laughed loud enough that people turned. "Humans. You came to a council in that?" Even the quiet fifth captain let out a short breath, almost a laugh. The human ship docked with a dull clunk. A ramp lowered. Human crew stepped out in dark uniforms, moving with steady discipline. A human representative walked forward, ordinary in face and dress, no medals, no bright rank. He greeted the station officers, then looked up at the balcony. The scarred captain called down, sharp. "Is this humanity's pride? A cargo brick?" Some visitors gasped. Others smiled. The human did not snap back. He let the insult hang, then answered calmly. "This ship is safe," he said. "That matters." The pale captain leaned forward. "Safe is not strong." The human nodded once. "We brought what we wanted you to see," he said, and lifted his hand toward the outer gate. The docking lights shifted from white to yellow. Traffic paused. Drones slid aside. A low vibration rolled through the rail. It was not a normal engine hum. It was heavier, like thunder trapped in metal. Out past the gate, stars vanished behind a moving shadow. The shadow grew, and a shape slid into view like a mountain waking up. Triangular. Wedge-shaped. Huge. The human ship now looked like a toy near the edge of a blade. Warm lines of lights ran along the giant hull. Its surface was armored, carved with trenches and hard angles. A command tower rose on top. The laughter died. The scarred captain's mouth stayed open. The pale captain stood, stiff. The third captain whispered, "That cannot be human." "It is," the human representative said, calm. "And it is only one." The fourth captain swallowed. "Name it." A small smile touched the human's face. "Dreadnought," he said. At last the fifth captain leaned forward, eyes locked on the approaching ship. His expression changed into the cold focus of a commander who suddenly understands the balance has shifted. And in the hush that followed, Kestrel 9 seemed to dim its lights, as if making room for what had just arrived. The Dreadnought drifted closer with a slow, steady control that felt almost disrespectful. It did not rush. It did not flare engines for show. It simply arrived, as if space itself had already agreed to move out of its way. On public screens across Kestrel 9, sensor text kept updating, then failing, then updating again. The station's systems tried to measure mass, heat, and power, but the numbers refused to settle. A few technicians in the crowd stared at the readings and went pale. The 5 alien captains had stopped speaking. Their earlier smiles looked frozen on their faces, like masks they could not remove. For commanders, pride was a weapon, but it could also be a trap. And now they could feel the trap closing. The human representative did not celebrate. He did not point and say, "See." He waited, hands behind his back, posture relaxed, as if this was normal. That calmness irritated the 4th captain the most. "You planned this," the 4th captain said, forcing a laugh that did not land. "You hid the real ship so we would embarrass ourselves." The human looked up at him. "You chose your words," he said. "We did not place them in your mouth." The scarred captain gripped the rail. "A trick is still a trick," she snapped. "This station is neutral. Bringing a monster like that here is a threat." "It is docked outside the weapon's boundary," the human replied. "Its systems are in station-safe mode. We follow the rules." The pale captain's eyes stayed fixed on the Dreadnought. He spoke carefully now. "Rules can be followed and still used to intimidate." The human nodded, as if agreeing. "Yes," he said. "That is what power is. Quiet. Controlled. Measured." People in the crowd began to whisper again. Some were excited. Others were afraid. The station security chief stepped forward, a tall officer with a metal badge and a cold stare. "Human delegation," the chief said, "state your purpose." "Now." The human representative turned to him with respect. "We are here to join the defense compact," he said. "And to end the rumors that humanity is weak at sea." The 3rd alien captain made a small sound, not a laugh, more like a breath of pain. "See," he said softly, tasting the word. "You still speak as if space is water." The human's eyes stayed calm. "Because the rules are similar," he said. "Only the storms are bigger." The chief glanced at the Dreadnought again. "That ship is not on any known registry," he said. "Its signature is abnormal." "It is new," the human said. "It has not been shown in foreign ports." The scarred captain leaned forward. "New," she repeated. "You built that in secret." The human did not deny it. "We built it quietly," he said. "Because when you build loudly, enemies learn how to break you." That sentence hit the lounge like a silent strike. Even the crowd could feel it. The 5 captains did not like hearing it because it was true. The pale captain recovered first. "A ship is not a fleet," he said, trying to regain control. "One Dreadnought does not change your status." The human looked at him, almost kindly. "We did not say it was one," he replied. The 4th captain's eyes narrowed. "You said it was only one." "Only one present," the human corrected. "Not only one existing." A long pause followed, filled by the distant low hum of station life support and the faint vibration of the Dreadnought systems through the dock structure. The 3rd captain finally asked the question that mattered. "Why show it now?" The human representative looked from one captain to the next. His voice stayed simple, but his words carried weight. "Because you came to laugh," he said. "And laughter is harmless only when the one being laughed at has no answer." The scarred captain's pride flared. "So this is about ego," she said. "It is about survival," the human replied. "In the last 6 months, 3 trade routes near our border were raided. The raiders used ships similar to yours. Someone is testing us." The 5th captain spoke for the first time, his voice low and steady. "And you believe one of us is involved?" The human's eyes met his without fear. "I believe someone with access to warship patterns is involved," he said. "Maybe not you. Maybe someone who copies you." The station chief shifted his stance. "This meeting is becoming a security matter," he warned. The human nodded. "Then let it become one," he said. "Because the raiders will not stop. And when they come again, we will not answer with a cargo brick. We will answer with what you just saw." The Dreadnought's lights pulsed once, slow and heavy, like a heartbeat. The crowd fell silent again, not because they were forced to, but because something in them understood, humanity had not brought a ship to brag. They had brought it as a message. And now the 5 alien captains had to decide whether that message was a warning, a promise, or an invitation to war. The 5 captains tried to hide their unease, but commanders were trained to read the smallest shifts. A pause that lasted too long. A hand that tightened on a rail. Eyes that refused to blink. The room had changed, and everyone could feel it. The station security chief stepped closer, lowering his voice. "No threats in this hall," he warned. "If this becomes a challenge, I shut it down." "It won't be a challenge," the human representative said. "It will be proof." The pale captain's tone sharpened. "Proof of what?" "Proof that we can protect our own lanes," the human replied. "And proof that we can protect yours if you stand with us." The scarred captain snorted. "You want us impressed, so we sign your papers." "I want you honest," the human said. "Because raiders are already using your style of ships to hit our trade." The third captain's eyes narrowed. "You said, similar ships," he said. "That means not ours." "It means someone wants us to think it is you," the human answered. "And someone wants you to think we are paranoid." The fourth captain leaned forward, trying to regain control with arrogance. "So you bring one large ship and expect the galaxy to bow?" The human did not flinch. "We brought one ship to stop a laugh," he said. "We brought a plan to stop a war." The fifth captain, quiet and heavy with authority, finally asked, "What plan?" The human representative turned his tablet so the station chief could also see. On the screen was a simple map, 3 nearby trade routes, marked with red points where attacks had happened. Another set of points, in blue, showed where sensor ghosts appeared right before each strike. "The raiders vanish," the human said. "They use a jamming field that blinds standard stations for exactly 30 seconds. Enough time to cut a convoy, take cargo, and disappear." The station chief frowned. "That tech is restricted," he said. The human nodded. "Yes. Which is why this is not random crime." The scarred captain crossed her arms. "You're blaming someone with military access." "I am stating facts," the human replied. "Now here is the test." The pale captain lifted his chin. "A test?" The human pointed at the map. "A convoy leaves Kestrel 9 in 6 hours. It carries medical cells and fuel cores. The raiders hit the last 2 convoys on that route. They will likely hit again, because they believe we are weak and predictable." The third captain stared. "You are using a real convoy as bait." "I am using a defended convoy as a trap," the human corrected. "There is a difference." The station chief's voice turned colder. "You do not control station convoys." The human looked at him. "We do not," he agreed. "But the convoy commander agreed to a protection contract 10 minutes ago, after he saw the Dreadnought on the sensors." Murmurs ran through the crowd like wind. Merchants looked worried, but also hopeful. Protection contracts were expensive. Only serious forces offered them. The fourth captain laughed again, but it sounded thin. "And what do you want from us?" "To clap." "I want you to observe," the human said. "From your ships. At a safe distance. If raiders appear, you will see exactly what happens. No rumors. No speeches." The scarred captain's eyes flashed. "And if you fail? If your big ship is too slow? If raiders still cut the convoy?" The human's answer was simple. "Then you can laugh again." That line landed hard. Because it did not sound like a bet. It sounded like certainty. The fifth captain stood up. "We will observe," he said, voice steady. "But I will not allow your Dreadnought to fire inside neutral space." "It won't," the human replied. The trap is outside station borders. The station chief hesitated, then gave a short nod. If this turns into a battle near my station, I will hold every faction responsible, he said. The human bowed slightly. Understood. Hours later, the convoy moved out. 3 cargo ships, thick and slow, with escort drones buzzing around them. The 5 alien captains returned to their own vessels and took positions at the edge of legal sensor range. They expected a show of human courage, maybe even human chaos. They expected loud engines and bright threats. What they saw instead was quiet preparation. The Dreadnought did not sit near the convoy like a guard dog. It stayed far, almost invisible against space, running dark. Its lights were dim. Its heat signature was lowered. It looked like a shadow that had learned patience. The convoy entered the route where attacks had happened before. The blue planet's curve faded behind them. Stars stretched wide. Silence filled the gap between ships. Then, on every sensor screen at the same time, a warning flashed. A brief distortion. A wave like ripples in glass. The jamming field. 30 seconds. Right on schedule. In those 30 seconds, alien raiders would normally strike. Cut engines. Freeze weapons. Board and steal. The 5 captains felt their old confidence rise. Here, the scarred captain murmured. Now we will see how brave humans die. But the humans did not panic. The convoy did not slow. And in the darkness beyond the jamming haze, a shape unfolded like a blade being drawn. Not the Dreadnought. Something smaller. Faster. Hidden. And moving straight into the trap from the other side. The pale captain whispered, shocked, they had a second layer. The 3rd captain's voice was tight. This is not defense. This is hunting. The jamming field reached its final seconds. And then the universe snapped back into clarity, right as the first raider ship came into view. Only this time, it was the raider who had been ambushed. The first raider ship slid out of the haze like a shark breaking the surface. It was narrow, sharp, and built for quick strikes. Its hull carried no flag, only a dull pattern that helped it vanish in darkness. Behind it, 2 more raiders appeared, forming a loose triangle around the convoy. For years, this tactic had worked. Jam the sensors. Strike fast. Leave before anyone could respond. But the moment the jamming ended, the raiders hesitated. Because the convoy escorts did not behave like prey. The cargo ships kept moving, steady and straight, while the escort drones spread out in a calm ring. They did not fire. They did not chase. They simply held positions like a net being pulled tight. Then a 4th shape appeared, small, black, and almost invisible until it moved. It cut across the raider's path with a sudden burst, like a knife thrown hard. The 5 alien captains watched from far away, their screens filling with clean, sharp data again. The scarred captain leaned close, eyes wide. That ship, she whispered. It's not a human block craft. It's elegant. The human hunter ship rotated once, smooth and controlled, and fired a thin beam, not at the raider's hull, but at a section near the engines. The beam was not bright. It was quiet. A precise line that lasted less than a second. The raider's engines died. Not exploded. Not burned. Just stopped. The ship drifted, suddenly helpless. The second raider tried to flee, aiming away from the convoy. Another beam tagged it, and its engine output collapsed. It spun slowly, like a wounded animal confused by the pain. The 3rd raider did not run. It did something worse. It turned its nose toward the cargo ships, as if it planned to ram one and make a statement. Its weapons ports opened, and energy charged. That was the moment the Dreadnought woke. Far in the dark, the wedge-shaped giant shifted. Its lights brightened a little, like eyes opening. A long line along its side opened, revealing a weapon channel. The weapon did not glow like normal cannons. It looked like a deep black cut in the hull. The fifth alien captain inhaled slowly. "That is a spinal gun," he said, voice hard. "A mainline weapon." The pale captain stared. "No one mounts that on a moving ship," he whispered. "Only fortress stations." The Dreadnought did not rush. It simply aligned. A quiet tone pulsed through open comms, a clean warning signal. Then a human voice spoke, calm and flat, like a weather report. "Unidentified raider vessel," the voice said, "stand down. Engines off. Weapons closed. You have 5 seconds." The raider fired instead. A bright shot slammed into one cargo ship's shield, making it flare like a bubble struck by a hammer. The cargo ship rocked but held course. The human voice returned. 4. The raider charged a second shot. 3. The raider's captain must have believed the Dreadnought was bluffing. Most ships threatened. Few fired. And even fewer hit from that range. 2. The raider's weapon fired again, stronger. 1. The Dreadnought fired. There was no huge flash. No loud explosion. Just a thin, straight line of force crossing the darkness. It reached the raider ship so fast it looked like the universe had drawn a ruler between them. The raider's weapon ports vanished first, cut clean. Then the engine section went dead. The ship did not explode. It simply became a drifting shell, its power shut down and its systems quiet, like a beast sedated in one careful strike. The convoy was safe. The trap had worked. In the aftermath, the human hunter ship moved closer to the captured raiders and released small boarding pods, simple, tough spheres that latched on like ticks. The human approach was not savage. It was controlled. Capture, not destruction. The scarred alien captain's voice was tight. "They disabled 3 ships in seconds," she said. "No kill shots. No chaos." The third captain watched the data scrolling. "Those beams," he said. "They targeted exact weak points. They knew where to cut." The pale captain's pride cracked into suspicion. "That means they studied raider designs," he said. "Or, they studied ours." The fifth captain did not speak. His eyes were on one detail, the raider ship's hull pattern. It looked familiar. Too familiar. Then the station-wide comm line opened again. The human representative's voice came through, calm even now. "Captains," he said. "We caught them without spilling blood. Now we ask for the same courtesy." The fourth captain finally spoke, and his tone held less arrogance than before. "What do you want?" The human replied, "Identification. Where did they get their jamming field? Who sold them hull patterns? Who taught them how to move like Navy ships?" Silence hung between stars. Then one of the boarded raider ships sent a weak, broken transmission. It was a panic signal, short and desperate, aimed at someone far away. The message carried a coded tag used by formal fleets, not pirates. The third captain read it and went still. The scarred captain's claws tightened. The pale captain's voice turned cold. "That code," he whispered. "It belongs to one of our shipyards." The Dreadnought held position, quiet and steady, like it was listening too. And in that moment, the 5 alien captains understood the real threat. The raiders were not random criminals. They were connected. And someone in the galaxy had been preparing, for a long time, to start a war, using humanity as the match. Now the laugh was gone. Only the fear remained. The captured raider ships drifted in a loose line, engines dead, weapons sealed, boarding pods locked to their hulls like iron scars. The convoy kept moving, safe now, but everyone watching knew this had become more than a defense job. It was a message. And the message had teeth. The 5 alien captains opened a private channel between their ships. No merchants. No station officials. Just commanders. The scarred captain spoke first, her voice lower than before. That code tag, she said, is real. It is not a pirate trick. The pale captain's eyes stayed on the data. It matches a shipyard registry used by 3 of our worlds, he said. If this leaks, every alliance breaks apart. The 3rd captain looked tired. Someone is feeding pirates with military tools, he said. And they chose human trade lanes because humans are new. Easy to blame. Easy to provoke. The 4th captain, who had laughed the loudest earlier, was quiet now. His pride sounded smaller. Then what is the human plan, he asked. Show us the Dreadnought and force us to help. The 5th captain finally spoke, calm and heavy. Humans did not destroy the raiders, he said. They captured them. That means they want answers. That is discipline. That is command. None of them liked admitting it, but it was true. A weaker force would have overreacted. A louder force would have burned everything and called it justice. Humans had done something colder, they had taken control. On another channel, the human representative connected in. His face appeared on their screens, steady and clear. He looked the same as before the battle, as if nothing had changed. You've seen our method, he said. Now we will offer terms. The scarred captain narrowed her eyes. Terms, she repeated. Like we are defeated. Like we are allies, the human corrected. Allies who have been tested by the same enemy. The pale captain's voice sharpened. You accused us. I accused a pattern, the human said. Now we have evidence that the pattern is linked to shipyards, you know. We need your access and your honesty, or this turns into a wider war. The 3rd captain asked the question that mattered most. If we refuse? The human did not threaten. That was the frightening part. Then we investigate alone, he said. We will protect our lanes alone. And when the saboteur frames you again, you will fight in confusion while we fight with clarity. The 4th captain frowned. You speak like you already know who it is. The human looked at him for a second, then looked away, as if choosing words carefully. Not yet, he said. But I know what the enemy wants. They want the old powers to see humans as a threat. They want humans to see the old powers as bullies. They want a clash between fleets. The 5th captain's eyes stayed cold. And you intend to deny them that clash? Yes, the human said. By showing strength early, before panic creates mistakes. For a moment, no one spoke. Space was quiet. Screens showed the drifting raiders. Boarding teams moved in controlled lines. Nothing dramatic. No shouting. No triumph. Then the scarred captain said, let's hear your offer. The human's voice stayed simple. We will open a joint task group, he said. Your analysts, our engineers. Your records, our captured ships. We trace the jamming tech and the hull patterns. We identify the supplier. The pale captain scoffed, but without heat. And you want us to sign this under the shadow of your dreadnought? The human's mouth did not smile, but his eyes carried something firm. You laughed at a human ship, he said. If you need a shadow to remind you that laughter can be dangerous, then yes. The line stung because it was fair. The 3rd captain leaned in. What is the dreadnought's real role, he asked. A symbol, or a spear? The human paused. Both, he said. But today it was mostly a lock. It kept the raider from running. It kept everyone honest. The 4th captain looked uncomfortable. We have dreadnought myths, he said. Ancient weapons. Old wars. Those ships always change politics. They do, the human agreed. That is why we did not show it until now. The fifth captain finally asked the last question, quiet and sharp. How many? The human representative did not answer with pride. He answered like a commander stating supplies. 3 operational, he said. 2 in deep build. More designs ready if needed. The channel went silent. Even the scarred captain had nothing sharp to throw back. 3 dreadnoughts meant humanity was not trying to survive anymore. Humanity was planning to control its borders. Maybe more than its borders. The pale captain swallowed. You built them without anyone noticing. The human nodded. We learn from history, he said. If you announce power while it is still weak, it gets crushed. If you reveal it only when it is strong, it changes the board. The station chief cut into the channel, tense. Your captured raiders are requesting asylum, he said. They claim they were hired. Hired by who? The human asked. They won't say, the chief replied. But one of them surrendered a data chip as payment proof. The human's face did not change, but the 5 captains could see a small shift in his eyes, like a door opening. Send the chip, the human said. Now. Seconds later, the data appeared on their shared screens. A contract file. A payment trail. A signature code. The signature did not belong to pirates. It belonged to a legitimate fleet contractor, one that serviced multiple alien navies. The 3rd captain whispered, "This is inside us." The scarred captain's voice was rough. Someone is selling war from inside our own walls. The human representative looked at them, calm as ever. Now you understand why we did not come here to brag, he said. We came to stop a fire before it reaches the fuel. And for the first time since they arrived at Kestrel 9, the 5 alien captains did not have jokes. They had only one shared feeling, silent respect mixed with fear, because humanity had not only built a dreadnought. Humanity had learned how to use it without losing control.